The Tale of the Four Beggars by Sammie Alexander. Four beggars make a pact to change their fortunes in life. They agree to return to their village, Kasu, meaning by chance, on the first day of spring in 10 years. The first beggar, Codiccio, as his name spoke, was greedy for power. He vowed to become commander over many people. He would seek his fortune from the sea. Codiccio had just begun his journey when he came upon a child filling a pail with sand. Curiously, the boy scooped sand into the pail, but it immediately disappeared. Codiccio watched the play, but passed on his journey without a lingering thought. Codiccio indeed gained great wealth from the sea. His many workers harvested hundreds of beautiful pearls. Codiccio sold them at great price. He paid his divers stingily. He was also cruel, working them with little rest and sparse food. He grew rich, powerful, and greedy. One day, Codiccio found the grandest pearl. It was 3 times larger than any 2 pearls he had ever found. A soft glow seemed to emit from it. "Leave me here in the sea, and you will have good fortune beyond imagination," Codiccio heard a bubbling, gurgling voice say. Codiccio, greedy man that he was, swore, "Never! This is a trick!" He swam for the ocean's surface, the beautiful pearl in hand. Suddenly, the sea rolled. Gigantic waves roared and slapped the shore. A giant clamshell opened and slammed its top tightly around Codiccio and the pearl. Never were they seen again. The second beggar, Vago, was lazy, as his name tells. He vowed to go to Edam, an oasis of balmy winds and easy living. Vago's gift of charming words and a pleasing face won friends readily. Soon he had devised a plan to gain his fortune. He sat in the town square telling of a place where the whole of earth could be viewed, north, south, east, and west. He spun tales of magical viewings, of seeing sun and moon cross paths, and of a garden where all seasons lived. Captivating tales! To the highest bidder he would sell a map with notes in his own handwriting. It is said that Vago found an adventure buyer for his map, but only on the condition that Vago must accompany the traveler. Payment would be received upon arrival at the mystical place. When Vago protested, for he knew no such place existed, he was bound and placed upon a camel. Last seen, Vago and the caravan were bound for the Garden of All Seasons. Perhaps if all Earth can be seen from that point, we'll see them when they arrive. Justus, the third beggar, was dumb, that is, possessed of an unpolished brain. He was known to allow others to decide his course of action. It was not that he could not think well. His thinker was just unpracticed and weak from underuse. Justus positioned himself on the main highway of Kasu. By chance, he thought, someone would pass who had the perfect idea to win a fortune. Rain and shine, time passed. Justus kept count of the days upon a rock. On the feast of St. Cerebro, the festival of thinkers, April 2nd, a traveler paused to greet Justus on the roadside. "Sir, I am a lone traveler. If we 2 journey together, it will be much more enjoyable." Justus answered, "Where are you going?" "No matter, just to see the world," the traveler replied. Justus agreed to join the traveler, and they journeyed on, while the others feasted at St. Cerebro. Justus and the traveler shared their stories. Both were in search of their fortunes, but neither could decide upon a plan to pursue. So Justus and his friend, last heard, were wandering about, hoping by chance to find their fortunes, or at least some plan to guide them. Falta, the fourth beggar, had barely begun his journey when he came upon a being, filthy, groaning, and writhing with great discomfort. Falta, who was rich in lack and want, passed by the wretched being. He did not want to think that any living being could be poorer than he. The wail of the wretch grew so loud and desperate, Falta turned back to help the poor creature. He had but a stale piece of bread and a handful of raisins. Falta gave the pitiful creature his morsel of food. He found water and bathed the thing. Those deeds done, Falta wrapped the creature in a blanket. He made a sling, slung it across his shoulder, onto his back, and traveled on. Falta could not tell whether his charge was human or animal. It was unlike any creature he had ever seen and hideously ugly. But Falta set aside the search for his fortune and devoted his time to care for the creature that he had named Myeashea, or Dear Monkey. Years greeted and passed Falta and Myeashea. Sadly, Falta began his journey home as he had promised his 3 friends. "I have only my Myeashea to show, no fortune," he thought. Falta would be a disappointment to his friends, he was certain. The first day of spring dawned as beautiful as it had been 10 years before. News of Codicio, the first beggar's fate, saddened the villagers of Kasu, for all anxiously awaited the return of the 4 beggars. The lazy, dishonest Vago, the second beggar, had been banished to wander the desert in payment for his scheming ways. The third beggar, Justus, had perished, wandering aimlessly around the world. Falta and Myeashea stopped to rest overnight, just a short walk from Kasu. As Falta slept on the ground, a strange thing happened. Myeashea transformed into a man. He placed a bag of precious jewels with a note beside Falta's blanket. Upon wakening, Falta found that his friend had gone. Sadly, he read the note.
"Friend, no greater fortune can be gained than a friend. Your value is beyond price."
Of the 4 beggars, only Falta, who was once rich in want and lack, had returned to Kasu. All the villagers wanted to hear of Falta's travels, and of the secret of his great fortune. How amazed they were when Falta took a simple note from the pocket nearest his heart, and read the words of Myeashea.